I'm back for Memorial Day, like I said I would be. So we have another Terra Mystica game. This one's kicking off already. 2 factions selected, the dwarves and the cultists. I haven't even really had a chance to look at all these cards yet. So let's have a look. This seems like it's probably gonna be... It could be a rather low scoring game, because the temples and stronghold scoring are at the end, which are very hard actions to spam. So typically when that's the case, I start to look at factions that have their own built-in scoring mechanics. And the dwarves and darklings are certainly good picks for that sort of thing. Another nice one might be the witches, who can just take 5 points for every time they found a town. But I sort of need to pause and think here for a moment about these 3 and how I value them. I'm not sure the cultists are really at their finest, given that all the cult scorings come off of different tracks this game, and it could still be pretty difficult to hit all these with them at the values they would want. And unfortunately, kind of the engineers and the alchemists are my go-to races to throw in the pool, just because I think I play them atypically well. So let's think about this. We still have another 2.5 minutes before we have to make the call. So we're definitely looking to bid in on dwarves or darklings when this comes up. Is there anything that could really change that valuation that much? Clearly the darklings, they always go for a low point total because they're a little bit overpowered, but maybe there's a pick we can put in to drag them down slightly. I think the round 1 dwelling scoring, if we had access to the shipping increment card, would be pretty nice. What we do have instead is gaining a priest, which is 4 coins away from the manual shipping increment. So it's possible we could take the witches, go 4th chair selecting this priest card. Or better yet, if we take the spade and the 2 money, then we can use our power to convert for a priest. That's a more efficient ratio. And then we could just build a ton of dwellings. And we'll figure out how to go from there. I rather like that line. I do think the presence of witches drags dwarfs down a bit in the game. It certainly makes it trickier for them to get to quite everywhere they would want to be. But we should still be able to get down a good number of dwellings that way. So I'm going to go ahead and toss in the witches as the final faction. So this does drag the dwarfs down a bit. Cultists, we said already. I don't think they're really at their finest here, particularly with a color neighbor in darklings. So the darklings are really the one that should go for the most points by a hefty margin. I mean, that's not a novel statement. I'm sure many people have said those words many times before, but it seems even slightly more so than the usual case in this instance. Following that, I would be looking at probably witches as number 2, then dwarves. Cultists are maybe my last pick. Hey, Deluxe. Yeah. Plausibly, the witches will win. In this game, the witches get along well with the town, though. It's not like Mafia. The witches get 5 points for every town, in fact. A little bit weird to see the cultists getting aggroed first here in the bidding. Yeah, definitely strange. Let's just bid these Darklings down a chunk, and because we'll definitely be happy to win them at 27. We'll see where people compete. It would be crazy if the cultists came down more first. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we know now that we're definitely not taking the cultists this game. No reason for that. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and compete with the Darklings down to at least the same benchmark that the cultists are bid at. So I agree with you, Deluxe. The witches should, or the dwarves should go the cheapest. But we'll see what actually happens. I definitely think they're in the worst spot here. The gray factions are sort of, due to board position, notorious for getting screwed over by the witches. Also, it's probably true that just in the abstract, averaged over all cases, the dwarves are the worst of these 4 races that we're bidding on. So definitely they should be the cheapest buy. So this is a little... I don't know how much lower I want to compete on Darklings. I think maybe 1 point at most. If they undercut me at 19, I think I'm jumping onto the Witches train after that. And hopefully I'll take them for 30. Really stupendous the cultists are falling this far in the bidding. Oh, glad to see the Darklings go even a little lower there. That makes the call easy now. Yep, here we go. Witches for 30. Hello there, Lexabyte. Alright, so we are going to be playing this game without the infamous Earth 1 favor, almost certainly, because we have tons and tons of actions to take in our first round, so we're not going to get to go early in round 2, and round 1 we have no plans to build a temple. So as much as this favor is sort of infamous for being very strong in all cases, not always the best favor, but definitely very strong in all cases, we will not be gaining access to it since there are only 3 copies. And we are not going to make any motions towards it until quite late. Okay, bids are locked in. I'm happy I did get the witches at 30. I think this is definitely a good point spread against the dwarves for us to pick up. And the cultists definitely got bid too low. We'll see about the rest. So I'm going to be throwing out 4 coins towards upgrading shipping. Now that means that I'm going to have 11 of my starting coins remaining. So I can build 5 additional dwellings as per the round score. 6 additional dwellings with the 2 I can get from this spade bonus card. So if I were to start here, and here in the name of leeching power, then with shipping upgrades so that I could skip a space along the river, I would, and the 1 spade, I could terraform this in a single moved forest, and then I could build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's assuming I don't get to use any power actions for further spades. Would be nice if I could collect a 6th at some point. Just because I'll have resources for it. I don't exactly know where I would put that, probably on this mountain tile here. Anyway, those are definitely our starting spots, because we do want to leech whatever power we can collect. So, in we go. Oh, now we have a lot of incentive to take this mountain, if we can. We definitely have to dig that in preference. Oh, okay, the mountain is untakeable. That settles that question. Okay. So, let's go ahead and... I would like to have this spade and 2 coins bonus card, because it's better for us on power expenditure than getting the priest. Also, other factions would be happy to have that spade card too, I'm certain. It's generally one of the most fought over for turn 1 bonuses. So, turn 2, we're going to be in a bit of an interesting bind. We will be scoring points for spade use to terraform things. And all we will have is a giant pile of workers, because we're not going to do anything here except build many dwellings. But I suppose a giant pile of workers can be converted at a bit inefficient rates towards digging. Ooh, I don't know that the dwarf player really wanted to start over here. I think he wanted to start upgrading this one. But whatever, we'll take it. This line works out the same for us and screws over the Darklings player. So we're super happy about that. Do I want to gain a power for free, but it will trigger the cultist ability, and they'll get to advance on the cult tracks. So the dwarves already accepted it, so they're getting that anyway. So yes, we will take that. Now, we're only expecting to be able to build 5 dwellings here. So there is actually a case for upgrading this dwelling to a trading post right now. And then we can build 4, because it will result in a much larger sequence of power leeches. We'll gain an extra 2 power that way. And then we can presumably use that to recoup the worker cube later in the turn. So, that is definitely worth thinking about here. I don't know for sure if that's the direction I want to head. It will leave us with a better allocation of resources for turn 2 as well. So I suppose the way the chips are gonna fall on this, we know we're gonna spend down to 3 in this bowl and 6 in the bottom bowl to gain our priest. If we do that, how much more are we gonna gain? We expect to accept 4 more power over here from the presumed temple upgrades. So if we are to leech in 4 more power in that position, that will give us 7 in the middle bowl. That is enough to spin up the extra white cube. So this definitely kind of hammers our power tokens a lot. We'll lose access to a great many of... Oh, I suppose we don't have to lose access to them because we won't have to spin up the white cube until later. We can collect the priest on the next round without burning the token. So we would end with 7 in our cycle. That seems like a good trade to me. And I think I'd rather do that than bank on building the extra dwelling with this 4 power for a spade action, which is liable to not exist by the time we've thrown down enough dwellings to make use of it. So I am, in fact, going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to build the trading post right now. Our next move is going to have to be cashing in this on 3 power for a priest. Hopefully we don't have to burn any power. We don't have to burn full 3 power tokens to take it. But it seems pretty likely that we will, because I imagine temples are coming down right now. Let's hope I'm correct. They could actually skip the temple for a round in order to compete for these spade actions, because the Darklings don't put pressure on them to miss out on Earth 1. Okay, that's quite bad for us. So if the dwarves are expending tunneling, terraforming there already. Okay, so we have the option to gain some power here. We want the power. Let's see, does the dwarf player accept it? We don't know. It looks like they're waiting on me to see if I accept it first. Well, you know what? I am gonna be okay with doing that. Early power kind of can snowball quite a lot. It's really annoying that we lost that one space over here, but it's okay. We can still make this pan out for us. The bigger disaster would be if we lost this this priest action. But it would be very surprising if that happened. It's also nice that all these people who can get the Earth 1 favor, they're throwing down their dwellings before getting it. which is, not necessarily a misplay on their part. There are a lot of reasons to compete in these different terraforming directions first and fight for the power actions. But it's still, it's definitely a thing that that gives us some compensation for what's disappearing on us. I think at this point so one option is that we do build the temple here and take Earth 1 before going on the shipping spree. How many dwellings can we do if we follow that route? So we would have to pay out 4 gold for shipping and 5 for a temple. That leaves us 5 gold in the bank. We'll have only 2 of the worker cubes remaining. So most likely we could only build 2 dwellings at that point. That's not super wonderful. I don't know that I'm maximally thrilled about going that route. So I think we'll be delaying that temple. Let's go ahead and garner the priest right now before it disappears on us. We'll have to do some conversions. And there we go. It's also nice to be taking a line that upgrades our shipping. There's the power we wanted. A little too late to stop us from destroying our own power tokens, but that's okay. The power will still serve us later in the round, almost certainly. Even if it's only serving us by letting us take this money cashing action. We'll be so happy to have the money next round where we're going to have a giant pile of worker income and not a lot of else. So am I okay accepting even more power here? Yeah, I am. You can have your cult bump. The dwarf player says you didn't need to take this field. Well, he did it, so whatever. What's done is done. So what towns are we going to be able to carve here? Unfortunately, this trading post is kind of stranded in the middle of nowhere. I doubt we can connect it in one. We can probably found one up in these 3 spaces using the sanctuary. It's reasonable to think we could get one up top here as well. It remains to be seen where we can carve out space for a 3rd town. The dwarf player definitely cut us off rather hard here. Kind of at a slightly needless cost to himself, given that he had free tunneling to other places. But, it is what it is. Sometimes people do make suboptimal moves that screw you. So now I think we're just happy to upgrade our shipping and then go on the dwelling spree. Unless we still have the option at this time to go with the a temple construction first. So if we wanted to do that, now we have enough power that we could build more than 2 dwellings. We would have to take this power action now for the 2 white cubes. because right now we're able to get 5 power out of this. That'll let us get an extra coin. So I think this definitely seems worth it to me if we're going to be building 3 dwellings here. But possibly we can't do it, actually. The issue would be that if we take this action first, we're going to lose out on gaining Earth 1, which is really the favor we want to go with. If we grab Earth 1 right now, we may miss this. But we may not. The only other player with enough power to take it is the Darklings. And I think he might actually prefer the money action in preference to it. Or it's possible he just doesn't want to burn down to so few power cubes already. So let's go ahead and hope that this remains open on us. If it doesn't, we still have enough power to build 3 dwellings after. So let's grab our temple. We will have enough money, right? Let's double check that. We're going to have 4 coins spent to shipping, 5 to the temple upgrades, so we'll have 5 remaining. We can spin 1 out of our power bank. It's all good. So that checks out. Let's get our temple. It sucks that we're kind of wasting a level 2 building here where we don't think we can connect it into a town. But we somewhat unexpectedly picked up this Earth 1 favor. And woo for that. Anyone who's viewing who might not know, this Earth 1 favor, which went out immediately, it's generally regarded as the best favor in the game. It's always quite good. It may not be the absolute best one, but for the circumstances, but it's never a bad take. And here it's wonderful for us. It just gives us 2 points every time we build one of these cheap dwelling buildings, which is what we want to spam anyway right now. Whoops, I failed to notice it's waiting on me for conversions. Alright, so let's wait and see what the Darkling player does. Hopefully they do not take this white cube power action, but we'll see. Okay, the cultists have passed out. That's probably pretty good for us, because I think in terms of bonus cards we're looking to take for next round, the dwelling scoring one is nice. We'll have a lot of those down. The other one that's nice is this 6 coin one, which just came available by their pass. So we can definitely be, we'll be happy taking that. Well, darn, there went the action we wanted. But we can still build 3 dwellings here, just running manual conversions. So let's, well, we're gonna have to start with the shipping upgrade to make this happen. Alright, engineers passed onto the coin card. What did they come off of? Oh, they came off of this, this card that scores for sanctuaries and strongholds you've constructed, but it gives 2 workers. It wouldn't be a crazy one for us to take, but it's probably not a top pick card. We did accept another unit of power in here, so actually what we might be able to do is grab this 7 money action. Do we have enough power for that? So right now in our current power situation, we have the ability to expend 2 from the top bowl and 3 from the center bowl. That's 5 in total, but 3 of it needs to go towards generating a worker, so we can't take this one here. That's a bit of a disappointment. but oh well, we'll make do. As we called out from game start, we will be going last in round 2. Definitely going to be the final one to pass out. So let's go ahead and use our bonus card's free terraforming spade now, and we can transform this. And we take 4 points for that, 2 from the round scoring that triggers whenever we build a dwelling, and 2 from our Earth 1 favor that triggers whenever we build a dwelling. So we can short ourselves a dwelling this round in order to take this power action that will give us all the money. And that may be a reasonable course of action, because otherwise our resources next round are going to be like 5 workers and no coins. And that does not do all the things that we want it to do. So it may just be better long run to take this and cap out at 2 dwellings. We can certainly go back to dwelling spamming in round 3. Thankfully, we don't have to wait too long on that one on this board. If we get the ability to do it next round, if we somehow had enough power, it would be really wonderful if we were able to take the double spade action just to transform this. And if we turn this green, which is a little difficult, then we have access to building a town down this way by connecting with a bridge here. It also cuts off the cultists in a very uncomfortable way. Otherwise, this is just going to wind up being a dead building when it comes to town construction, which isn't really that happy. So, how are we going to do this? We definitely want to take this space next, no matter what else happens this round. So let's go ahead and do that now, then get all the information about how the Darklings end off their turn. Yes, Lexabyte. I gather that you're pretty new at this game. So the bridges are used to connect things separated by the river. We have upgraded our shipping, which is a thing no one else has done yet. And that allows us to skip spaces over the river. So for all intents and purposes, they're already connected for our sake, even without the bridge, because we can skip a single hex, but only along the river as we build stuff. The one exception to this rule is when it comes to founding towns. Our things need to be connected even without use of shipping. So that would require us to make use of a bridge for it to count as a full town later. That's wonderful. You know, we can kind of just build the bridge on our own time whenever we want it here, as long as we get this space. Because we'll even be able to skip down and build under here without the bridge. Our one shipping is pulling a lot of work for us right now. So I definitely think we are going to want this money next round. Which bonus card are we going to look at? We could take 3 power and a coin and the one that'll pay us 3 points at round end for having upgraded our shipping. That would be a reasonable course of action. I don't know that gives us enough to actually dig a tile with the any of these spade power actions. It may yet. But we are definitely going to want the money, whatever winds up happening next round. Perhaps we can upgrade to a stronghold so that we can start using our free dwelling placement. For those in the chat who might not be aware, the stronghold power from the witches is once we have it, we can just fly to a random forest anywhere on the map and put a dwelling there once per round. So that's a pretty big boon. Okay. At this point, I don't think we have anything left to do for this first round. We don't have enough power to spend any resources, so we can pass. And I guess, which card are we taking? If we grab this one, I think we want the power card, and then we'll be looking to take the extra 2 white cubes so we can get a stronghold in this round. That sounds correct to me. Unfortunately, we can't take any of these bonus cards for the round that anyone else has taken already, and we have to change, so we can't re-grab this spade card as much as we badly wanted it. Okay, cultists led off with the 6 power for a 2 spades action. They terraformed here. I assumed the other one was going to be this red tile. They may not realize my desire to compete there just yet. Oh, I suppose the red tile is also equally hard for them to terraform, so maybe they'll wait on it. There's hope yet for getting a town down here. Alright, so we have an income of priests now, thanks to having this temple down. One option for a priest is just to convert them to a less efficient resource and use it as a worker. And that's good if we want to wind up building our stronghold this round, but otherwise we might prefer to jam it in the Earth Cult track. Just because at the end of this round, we'll get paid 1 coin per 1 level of Earth Cult favor we have. And we could get up to 3 favor there. It's very nice that the Darklings are just not going to be competing with us at all this game. They're going a completely separate direction. So once we pick up this tile and this tile, we're really just in pretty fantastic straits for not getting cut off from anything we want. So we don't quite have enough power yet to grab this, which is where I would want to be. We also don't have the requisite power to take this spade action. We do have enough money to build our stronghold, so we're just 1 white cube short. We can guarantee it if we use our power at the inefficient conversion rates to make a worker. But it would really be nice if I could take a little extra power and then grab this action. And then get a few more coins at round's end. Because then I could use my priest gaining some earth favor. Now, if I go ahead and steal that spot now, the dwarves are in position to make this trade here, but they won't. They would prefer to grab this power action for certain. They have a lot of resources, but not really places to put them. And spades score this round. So I would imagine that this stays open. The question is, do we actually absorb any additional power this round to get the one more we need? And I don't think we do. So I think we're just going to have to take the inefficient line. It sucks, but it is what it is. So that means we don't have to make any of these conversions. We just want to get our stronghold down so we can start flying everywhere. Now, we need to build a trading post first to build a stronghold, and unfortunately it has to be this tile. Because otherwise we'll have to pay extra, since trading posts are cheaper when they're right next to other people. This will set us up pretty nicely for spamming more dwellings on the next round, just because the stronghold's a free dwelling placement. Every round, every time. Well, there goes another forest we wanted. But we'll figure something out. We'll get to some of these places before the dwarves take them away from us. Certainly the dwarves won't be expending any more spades this round. They're just gonna tunnel to some of these mountains they get to. For chat viewers who aren't aware, that is the dwarf special ability, is they don't have access to this whole shipping mechanic the rest of us do. Instead, they can dig tunnels between places. Okay, so predictably, we did not absorb any extra power, like I said. So we're gonna go ahead and make the terrible conversion right now. It's a very inefficient use of resources and doesn't allow us enough power tokens to collect in bank to use this double dig ever again, but oh well. It gets us our stronghold now. Well, we've got it. So we only have one thing left to do this round. And that would be to use our now active stronghold power to fly somewhere for free. So this is the one I wanted to take. We can't get it now, because the dwarves got to it first. So we'll take this one up here just because we know we're going to want it. We could fly down here to try and absorb some extra power from the Darkling's actions, but we wouldn't be able to connect that up with our network at the game end for trying to occupy the largest total area. So it's probably better off to just lead over here. We are going to be very hard-pressed to come by enough spades this game to dig all the places we want. That's pretty unfortunate. Just because we lost access to this double dig action by burning as many power tokens as we did. Okay, so still somehow two people managed to pass before us, which is a little crazy. Let's fly! I know that dwelling scoring is next round for placement, but we still want to put that down now just to collect the extra resources that come from the income track underneath the dwellings, because we're not going to run out of dwellings to place in the next round, unfortunately, as much as we would like to. So unfortunately, the cultists are going to be able to outlast us in actions. Do we want to accept this 2 power? Heck yeah, we want to accept 2 power. You can have your bump on the cult track. It only gives you 1 extra coin. And now we have to pass. We have nothing we can do. So where do we want to pass? Well, it would be reasonable to pass on to this card that gives us 2 money, a worker, and 2 points per trading post, just because the resources from it are somewhat nice. But we're not going to wind up with any trading posts at the end of next round for that scoring. Let's see. We don't... Really what we wanted was this dwelling scoring card with the 2 money. I don't think we want the priest and the coin. That's gotta be very nearly strictly worse for us than taking this other one, which gives us the extra coin. But I am more inclined towards this resource allocation than the 2 worker one. Though I suppose the cultist player is going to want this 2 worker card. Let's steal it away from him just because it is worth 4 points to us. We have our stronghold built, so we will score some points when passing with it. We are currently the points leader in the game, so that's nice. You can see the points right underneath the player names listed here. I don't think that means a whole lot at this stage in the game. If we'd managed to take one of these 2 tiles, then I would be much happier about our position. But as things currently stand, this is a bit uncomfortable. So if we can absorb 4 more power, we can take this action here, which gives us some good resources. Another thing we desperately want to do is dig these spaces. Let's go ahead and... What do we want to start with? What we're really hoping we can do is absorb more power here. It would be nice if we could turn this priest in our possession into more power. Yeah, Deluxe, I agree. It's not looking super wonderful. I'm not collecting the best resource allocations, really. On the other hand, no one's really getting a very good one. So maybe it's okay. I think what we want to start by doing, we want to hope we can take some more power in this region. The Darklings player ought to be looking to get a sanctuary very soon, just because they need all the priest income for their terraforms. So when they do that, we can absorb the power. If we can get 1 point somewhere else, we'll have access to either this money or this single dig. And so I think we want to use our free stronghold flying to come down here in hopes we can absorb more power that way. I doubt we'll be able to connect that to the rest of our network. But that's true of most of the sites that we would go to, I think, using flying, barring this one. These, particularly this and this, are looking almost impossible to connect. So we are going to run out of ability to connect everything. Let's go ahead and use that and fly right here. What we may consider doing, actually, is since we've run ourselves out of ability to get digs from this power action, it would be an interesting option to upgrade our digging capabilities. If we could exchange a single worker for a spade, that would fix all the digging problems. But it takes quite a lot of money to upgrade like that. Okay, so we did collect our extra point of power from coming here. That's really wonderful. Still waiting on that Darklings player to upgrade his sanctuary. I mean, he shouldn't do that yet. He should definitely be looking to spend on these power actions as the more competitive thing. No, he did it straight off. Awesome. I will accept that in a heartbeat. So this did work out just as I foresaw. Which favor is the Darklings player taking? Probably the Water 2 one is a good bet here. Just because it will help him meet the cult goal for this round and then continue to pay dividends in the future. He could alternatively consider Water 1, but then he would want to be spending a priest in here to meet the cult goal for the round. Yes. So that's... actually, I don't think I can upgrade digs to one worker this turn, because I won't have access to a second priest. Yes. We came to the conclusion at the same time, Deluxe. But yeah, that was the idea, that I do actually have a realistic expectation of being able to upgrade my digging capabilities here. And then if I can dig things cheaply, I can just use my stronghold power to fill in all the cracks. Rather than expanding to new areas with it. So I think that's what I want to be doing. Upgrading digs does seem nice. If I'm going to do that, I absolutely need to collect on the money. Oh no, you know what? I'm also short 2 coins on being able to upgrade digs all the way this turn. So really a lot of problems with that game plan. Oh well. Let's take the money before that's closed off to us. This also opens our ability to accept power income. Yes, I could spend workers as coins. That's true. I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna upgrade digs one time, and then I'm gonna use the remainder of my workers to dig and build a dwelling, because that's what scores this round. I can upgrade digs fully for the next round. It's good that a lot of competition for spaces is happening, and we're not part of it. We still just need to make sure that we can, well, really in particular, we need to hit these 2 red ones. And those are tricky for us to dig, but they won't be after we've upgraded our digging capabilities, so yay for that. We should be able to form a town here, 1 here, and then hopefully a 3rd down here, but that, it's asking a lot. We'll try our best. Okay, so this space has been boxed in. We're definitely not going to be able to connect it now. But that's fine. It's as we expected. It was worth it just to accept the power, and hey, now we're collecting an extra point of power. Lucky us. And we may get more in the future as these upgrade. Let's... So where do we want to compete? The Darklings could conceivably try to jump to this space once they've come here, but only if they upgrade their shipping an awful lot. So is it worth trying to fight this one earlier just because they can get it on less shipping? I think probably. So I'm gonna look to do that, but first we're gonna upgrade our digs. Digs go up, woo! We're gonna do abysmally on the cults this game. Just because we're spending all our priests for other things, for shipping, for dig upgrades, but it is what it is. We'll certainly be more mobile than other people in the late game. With our upgraded digs, no one else will be able to handle that nearly as efficiently. So this spot is really paying for itself. Very glad to have put that there when I did. All that power absorption is just wonderful. We're going to collect another 4 for this turn, building this water tile. And then, and I think that's all for this round, because that's going to take us down to 1 worker and 1 coin. We'll see what bonus cards exist for us to pass on to when the time comes. The next round we'll be looking to upgrade dwellings into trading posts. So that's going to take, again, yet more money than we have. We're really... Coins are what's limiting us here. We'll want to be grabbing that 6 coin card, I imagine. Or actually, the 3 coins a worker and points per trading post is even better, since it's the trading post scoring round. That creates some neat incentive alignment on our part. But let's go ahead and get this built right here, right now. Then we can look to pass on to the other, because I definitely don't think the cultists are passing. I don't know, the dwarves could be passing here before us. They probably will be. But it's unfortunate, we need to get this down now. We are going to be a little behind in points. The dwarves will have picked up on us by the end of this round, but that's okay. Oh wow, the cultists are doing a premature pass. Well, that probably means we're last again, but we'll see what opens up for us. Okay, we still have the 6 money option. I think the 6 money option is actually better than the spade at this point, just because we'll have access to such efficient spade conversion. So let's go ahead and take that. There is another line where we grab this in preparation for taking this money conversion action again, just because it scores us some points, but I'm not confident that would be open to us in the 4th chair, even if we were to first pick it as our next action. So I think we're pretty comfortable just grabbing the 6 coins. We will upgrade our digging capabilities and then already find ourselves annoyingly pinched for coins after that. But we need to dig some spots to put dwellings that we can upgrade to these trading posts, because right now we don't have access to any reduced cost trading posts. Yeah, I see, Deluxe. That's the case I was trying to make, that I might not get that power action anyway, even if I passed on to the shipping bonus card. Well, someone just wrote in the chat for this game that they're impressed with how we're hanging in here. Yay, thank you, dwarf player. Do we want this power? It does give the cultists a bump on stuff, but I think that ship has sailed. I think now we're just in the territory where we say, you can win the cults, we don't care, we're so bad at cults that it's not helping you in the head-to-head against us, only against other people. So we're happy to just continue giving cult bumps to the cultists. The dwarves are going to be hard-pressed to found more than one town, it may be. I suppose if they take this tile in here, they have access to 2. But if I was the Darklings, I would be looking to snipe this from them. So we can't play any of these efficient actions yet. If we can absorb 2 more power, we can collect the money, and that would be absolutely lovely. Honestly, we'd be happy collecting any of these. But we definitely need, before we can... We don't have any dwellings that upgrade efficiently into trading posts, and in order to get those, we'll need spades, so we're just going to go ahead and finish upgrading our digs right now. Alright, we have turbo digs for 2.5 rounds. It's a shame the spade scoring has already passed, but we can live with that. Come on, Darklings, hurry up and dig in here. It's impossible for you to form 2 towns out of these separated, because in order to do this in 3 tiles here, you would need a sanctuary, but your sanctuary is placed. So you may as well connect it and take your town scoring right now and cut off the dwarves. It's definitely a hugely favored action for you. Please just do it now. Save me the peace of mind. Oh dear. Yep, I agree, Deluxe. We're just getting a pile of points from things that don't relate to to setting ourselves up for longer games at all. Just so many free points from game start, and so many points from upgrading digs, and we're not in the absolute worst economic shape. Okay, so what do we want to do this round? We have a number of things. So, for starters, let's see. I don't believe the Darklings are interested in coming on this tile. That would require 3 terraforms from them, which they technically have access to. But I'm not sure I really see the incentive spending like that. On the other hand, if they did it, it would be super terrible. And they're sort of postured to do that now. It may well be, given that they took the priest, they're looking for the... It may well be that I just have to dig this tile right now and put a dwelling on it. And that will cost me a total of 3 workers, 2 coins. I'll have 3 workers left. That does give me the power to fly to here. And then I can even continue to do more if I absorb the extra requisite power, which I might do by coming here. So I think this is the spot to dig. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's one headache sort of solved for now. Please, Darklings, just cut him off. Just do it. It's not even bad for you to cut him off here. And it's just amazingly penalizing to the dwarves for how they've played this. Yeah, illusion! Okay, let's all cheer together, chat. You can do it, Darklings! I don't think I've seen you around before, Illusion, but it's nice to meet you. I'm glad you're on my side. Come on, Darklings, be the hero that I don't quite have enough reach to be. I would build this if I had access. If you want, you can even terraform this to a forest, and I will happily use the stronghold to set a dwelling on top of it. He's thinking really hard. No! Ugh. Okay. I can't really fault him for doing that. That was the other high value action for him. Okay, so now we have the ability to accept the power. And yeah, we're pretty happy about taking that. Now we can spin ourselves up, and spinning a spade here is pointless because this is worth 2 spades at least. So there's... Yeah, Darklings do love digging. I know, it would have scored them points to steal that spot away from the dwarves. But there's still time for the dwarves to not terraform it. They don't have enough power to use this double spade action, and if they tried to terraform it otherwise, it would cost them 6 workers. I suppose they could take this single spade and use 3 workers and then build a dwelling here. So they can seal this deal right here, right now. It just takes all the rest of their resources in their bank. Or pretty close. I suppose they're left with enough to build a trading post. Okay, so they still have the option to take this as dwarves, but so do the Darklings. And now they've grabbed this, they're actually running out of other super intelligible things to do with their turn. So I guess we have to ask ourselves now, where do we want to dig? Well, we definitely don't want to dig with this, because this is strictly more efficient now that we've upgraded our digs. There is a line of play here where we just pass on all this power, rather than taking more, because then we can grab the much higher value money action next time. But I don't think I really like that, because then we're just passing on some power income that we're gonna get. That would suck. Let's not do that. Let's go ahead and grab this, and then we can dig and put down another dwelling. These white cubes are still going to be super good for us, just because now we dig so efficiently with them. Oh yes, Darklings, you're my hero! Okay, chat, you can't see this, but I'm hugging my laptop right now in attempts to sort of long-range send those vibes to Darkling's player. Oh, you're so wonderful. Thank you. So Illusion, you're saying that they have the inability to found a second town if they take this. And actually, as it turns out, they had the inability to found a second town there already. So it didn't even hurt them. Because they only had access to 3 tiles in this stretch of the map. They would have needed a 4th to make a town out of it. The only way you can circumvent that limitation in the whole game is with your sanctuary, which they've already got placed over here. So it wasn't possible for them to get 2 towns out of this stretch, no matter what. You missed the sanctuary. Yep, that'll do it. So we still have a lot of workers. That lets us terraform. If we had 2 power gain, we could use that to make a coin, which would let us upgrade a trading post. Which is actually what we would prefer to do if we could do it, just because we want to get some money income instead of just these workers. And it scores this round. But it's not to be, and I definitely don't want to waste this stronghold action. So I would like, I think, to dig this space and reserve it for myself. But then I don't have the resources available to build right after. I would have to go through another round of actions and then use my stronghold power in order to secure it. And I think that's okay. I don't think the cultists would try to dig it back. Just because they would need 3 transformations to take the space away from me. That's awfully far, and they're really low on the resources to do that kind of thing right now. So we'll get in here. It would be pretty petty of them to fight this because... Oh, actually, we could build our special landscape, then fly here. Can we do that? I think the witch's special landscape tile, the Raven's Blunder, it requires 2 temples. Yes, it does. So that's actually not an option. So we will have to not build. Yeah, tell me about it, Illusion. It's rather crazy. Just literally every space on this continent has been consumed. And it's totally empty in the west. We have reasonable odds to secure our 3 towns by the end of the game. We're kind of gonna have to forsake these scoring objectives to do it. But I think we can manage that. That is acceptable. Normally I would say it's not necessarily worth it to pursue founding towns when it takes us away from these goals. But really, it's fine. It's fine with the witches, because the witches get, as a faction ability, they're compensated an extra 5 points on top of the usual rewards. So just founding 3 towns will put us in good shape no matter what else we do this game. Alright, get in there, stronghold. Boop. Okay, we don't have anything else to do this round. We're gonna get a ton of white cubes as income. We should be up at 10 for the next round. And, as always, 0 money. So we're gonna have to figure out about fixing that. Because in order to found towns, we need to start upgrading these buildings. We really badly need to start doing that. There's also some concern that in order to connect this town to the rest of our network, we're going to have to dig this desert space into a forest. That way we'll be connected by shipping here and shipping there. That is a triple dig for us. That is actually possible for us to entertain the idea of now that we have so much white cube income and our digs are so efficient. So we can really just turbo dig through this. Will the dwarves steal this? It is 2 transformations for them to get this space. So I it doesn't... It seems like they probably would do it if we left them forever, but I don't think they're going to do it imminently. Certainly they'll at least take this tile first. Now we have to take an action. We have no actions to take. What would we like here? So 2 money plus scoring a point for every dwelling when we pass is very enticing. That's close to 8 points. We know we're going to be basically maxed out on dwellings for the rest of the game. So that's nice. So Deluxe, it's not true that that's my only way to connect. I do have other options, but they all involve upgrading my shipping substantially more. And I don't really want to do that if we can avoid it. It's just too much money expenditure. And it would be nice to finally get our priests for something else too. So what competes with passing onto this tile? Definitely passing onto the shipping tile is not as good. So would we rather have 1 less money and 2 more white cubes and a bunch less points? I'm inclined to say probably not. Alright. Alright, someone in chat is complaining that, the Darklings players complaining that we stole what little maneuvering space from them that the dwarves didn't. Let's give them a winky face. Winky face. Alright, the Darkling shipping is still very far from the requisite amount to jump to this tile, so we don't have to worry about that yet. I'm pretty confident that we are okay passing and grabbing this dwelling storing tile. Yeah, they did start with both buildings on the right side. I agree that it sort of asks to have problems founding towns as the Darklings to start with both of these. It gives you infinite space to terraform very cheap, but it's all connected. The only way to make 2 towns out of it, realistically, it involves, when you see the setup here, it realistically just isn't possible. People will outcompete you to make those towns. So it's nice that we can count on the Darklings not forming a town again. Okay. So, a little bit of fear now. If the Darklings upgrade their shipping a single time, they can jump to this space. So, we absolutely need to be vigilant in stealing this away. There was a reason I stole that first, because they could have jumped there more easily. The Darklings terraform rather simply, but they would have had the requisite shipping to make the jump this turn. And then they would have been able to found a town in this block. So it's with good reason I took that one first. But we need to be really, really vigilant in stealing this space pronto. It shouldn't be hard. We are going second next round. Probably our fastest route to gaining the money we need to do things is founding a town quickly so we can take this town bonus of 5 points and 6 money. That's the one we're going to be looking at the most closely. This is really quite a lot that needs to happen here for us to be in good shape. Right? I need to compete to this tile first. I still need to just produce enough total resources to found all the towns. It's in doubt that I can do that. And I'm also gonna need to gain this tile. And crap, the dwarves... I'm sorry, is that the dwarves who did that? No, this is the cultist player who terraformed this tile and this one. Why would the cultists turn this into a wasteland tile? I don't understand. That's going the wrong way for them. But now it just opens it to the dwarves for free because it's only one terraform for them instead of two. That's really infuriating. Yeah, I mean, that's so... Check log again. So, according to the log, last turn, it was... sorry, it was the dwarves player who did it right before the cultist player did a different terraform. Okay, that makes sense. Yep. Yeah, really, I should have assumed that. It was the only way to make sense of that sort of action. Okay, so what are we doing here? The Darklings require a shipping upgrade before they can steal this from me. So I don't have to take this as my absolute first move of the round. That said, do I have anything else I need to race to do this round? I'm finally able to start spending my priests in the cult. I certainly will choose to do that, given that it pays me 2 money at round's end. Deluxe is saying I need the red space. I'm not sure that's true. I may just fail to connect this game. You are correct. I can never connect if I don't get this red space. Never ever. But I am content with not connecting if this space is hated away from me. I have too many other things I need to do to work on fighting that one. And I think that now that we've lost this tile, connection is an unrealistic option. It just costs too many coins. So, what would we like to do here? I think we want to try and found the town now by getting a trading post here. And then I'll have to make it a sanctuary to complete that. That means I would have to make it a temple first, then a sanctuary. This is going to be quite rough. Okay, let's do some conversions really quick. We definitely want that trading post. If I'm gonna make it a temple, then a sanctuary, then I suppose I want to make the temple right now, and then the sanctuary the last round when that scores. I am going to need as much money income as I can get. The Darkling player advanced on the shipping track. Okay, well we can't let him have that. So we will be stealing this space away, and then he will be very annoyed with us because his shipping advancement gets him nothing at all. We're never getting this 4 power for 7 money action again, so unfortunately we're just going to start converting these the inefficient way for coins. This gives us enough to build a dwelling, and now we will take this space from him. You can stay in your pit, Darklings. That doesn't give us a lot of other resources. I don't know that we're going to be able to get as many towns as we want out of this deal. I definitely ought to be flying here using my stronghold power on the next move. Just because cultists are liable to build there and we want to absorb the power from that transaction. Yeah, I'm with you. 2 towns is definitely going to be hard. We have some very serious income issues. Okay. Yeah, so the cultist player didn't build here yet, but it sure looks like it's coming before round end. So, yeah, we'll fly down here. It's not like we have anywhere better to fly on the map with our stronghold power regardless. We would have liked to use it just on costs of saving a dwelling here, but then the Darklings may well have tried to terraform it back or something. Just because this was their last chance to escape the pit they've been cast into. Alright, let's go ahead and fly. And indeed, we did get to take the power off that. Do we want to give the cultists a bump? So there's no cult rewards left for them to be paid. It doesn't even look like it causes them to change cult rankings much, so we'll happily let them have that power. So we're going to have 1,000,000 of these white cubes for the next round, and no cash. It may be doable to found a couple towns just by daisy chaining the results of that together, right? Like using the town rewards to feed into each other. Let's hope we can get the 2 towns. But there is a real possibility we wind up ending at just the 1. And that will be terrible. So we can spin up 2 coins out of this power configuration. I actually think it's worth it to do that, potentially, because we want to get our trading post upgrade right now so we can reap the money from it. So the only place we can get cheap trading posts is here, which is a little unfortunate for us. But we can do that. Do we get better money returns by investing a priest in a cult? I think not. We could only even do that in air, and it would be a single power, which doesn't even give us extra coins. So, I think the way we want to do this is going to be very, very sad. We'll get a coin, spend a priest as a worker, and 2 workers as coins. And that gives us enough for the upgrade. I suppose actually we can do better than that. Let's reset these conversions. So we are going to accept 4 incoming power. It would be nice to kill 1 less power token from our bowls. I guess we can invest the priest now, then take 2 coins out, and then get the trading post. So I think that'll be the sequence we use. Do we want to invest in Earth? Maybe not. We can get the 2 coins without and still be able to accept all our incoming power next round. So we may well want to invest on the water cult just because we could theoretically actually compete there. Or maybe we can't. I don't know. This is a tricky one. Is it the Earth cult or the Water cult? We could reasonably choose I think it should be Earth. I think we're gonna need that one power. Maybe we can invest our other priests there later and tie the dwarves. We're not going to use any conversions. I know that we may not be able to accept all the incoming power we can get, but getting power capped in the late game has its benefits in that we can take the power without spending any points. So that'll be a lovely thing. So incidentally, the cultists are going to have a hard time connecting their network also. They are currently at 2 shipping. So I suppose they can connect in a single build by taking this, which is really not something we would be happy about. So what are the competitive things we're going to have to do in the next round? There's way too many of them, really. We're going to need to terraform and build here, which we can't even do. We don't have access to dwellings. Although we will after we trading post upgrade here. Okay, let's go ahead and make that trading post. We definitely need it. Even more inefficient conversions. Then let's hope these meager resources can get us there. We would like to be able to pass on to a scoring card of some kind. I don't know that that's going to happen. Passing on to the money in card would also be very reasonable. We'll be happy enough that we're passing before cultists so that we can take this space away from them. That's going to be pretty big game. It does actually give us a bigger connected area than someone, even without connecting up our network. Though the cultists always have the option to go to 3 shipping and take this spot. Okay, so we don't have access to the money. We can take the passing that grants points for trading posts. That comes with a money. We can take this free spade. That's essentially the same as a white cube. So that's really just this card with 1 extra money. But without the points. And that's probably not worth it to us. I think we'll want to be receiving the trading post points when we pass. That seems most likely. It's unfortunate we can't hold out for this money card or this dwelling scoring card. Alright, there we go. Unfortunately, everybody's going to get a scoring card for the final move. And ours is probably going to score us the least. So, things we need to do. We're going to need this space. And then, oh my goodness, we need a bridge. How are we going to do that? Do we have to give up on this assembly? Maybe. It would be enough challenge just to go temple into sanctuary here. And then that would give us 1 town. We'd receive the money income. That's gonna be 6 workers of our 8. We'll take the money income. We can build a trading post here. It's looking like it's not actually possible for us to get 2 towns. It would really take something pretty miraculous. Right, the sanctuary will give us a favor, and we can grab this fire 2 favor to make it simpler over here or over here. But I don't know that we have enough white cubes to dig this, build a dwelling, and then proceed to make the upgrades here. And then still somehow end with this power action? That seems like way too much. We don't even have enough coins to just build the darn sanctuary here to start. So one option is building sanctuary here, and then we only need a bridge, and this becomes a town with the fire 2 favor. Then we take the coins. We can upgrade this to a trading post. And still have some coins left. So I suppose this is actually the town that we're giving up on. Which is a shame, because it already reaches the 7 power threshold, it just needs an extra spy. Are we worried about losing the bridge? I don't think so. Nobody else has any reason to build it. So if we leave the bridge up, and we go ahead and build the sanctuary now. No, I suppose we could wait on that. And bridge first. Bridge, then we build the sanctuary and take money. Then I can build a trading post up here. Will I be able to get another trading post? That all costs a total of 6 workers. I would need 2 more. I definitely have that. What's the monetary amount? So the monetary amount associated there is I'm going to lose 6, 3, so that's 8. I'll be at -1, but I will reclaim this 6. So plus 5. That's almost enough. If I spend a worker as a coin, I can then get a second town. Okay, so we can get 2 towns. That's good news. But it involves bailing on this one, and that's okay. That's totally fine. We'll just build our bridge right here and now. It does let the cultists connect, but oh well. We're going to take what we can get and just hope that's enough for us to not get last. The aim here is defeat Darklings, because I think the cultists have us beat whether we let them connect or not. Okay, very ambitious. The cultists didn't take this space yet. That said, we're still not gonna. We need our sanctuary here, receiving the fire 2 favor. The only way we get blocked is if we lose all these fire 2s, which we now can't, or if we lose access to this town tile. So let's go ahead and make the upgrade, knowing that it gives up on this, but I don't think there's any way to recover all 3 towns here. That seems basically impossible. Okay, so lots of things. 5 points from building our sanctuary. We will now receive the Fire 2 favor. And that will let us found a town. And we definitely want to take all of these coins. And then that will trigger a 10-point boost, 5 from the town tile, and 5 more from our witch's power. Alright, 2 points for 3 power. Is that a trade we're willing to make? I think probably not. We want to end this with as many workers as possible, just so we can dig a space into a forest and then use our stronghold power there. But that's only worth 2 points, and so if this power allowed us to do that, it would just be break even anyway. Unless that somehow passed somebody on network size, but I am in a lot of doubt that it is going to. I think we're defeated by everybody on network size without ability to connect this. Yes, we are. Okay, so we will decline this. Ooh. The cultists are really living quite dangerously by not taking this space for the connection. It's possible that... Is this the one that we look to dig right now? Because we are going to need to use our stronghold somewhere. Oh, there's an interesting option for completing this town here. I could just use an additional dwelling after digging this space to make it into a town. And that lets me... does that let me do other higher scoring things? I'm not certain that it does. We're definitely going to need this trading post. That's going to leave us with 3 workers and 4 coins. So... I could then dig this into a forest and use my stronghold power to colonize it. And that would make another town here. Then if I could upgrade my shipping all the way, I could actually connect up my network. But I'm unable to take the money town tile. The other one has now disappeared. If I take the priest town tile, I will have 4 money remaining after founding this town. So I would need to be able to pull 4 extra out of power. Suppose maybe I should have accepted that 3. That still wouldn't quite be enough. So I would need to use 2 of the white cubes to dig this. So, actually it would be enough because I could spend a worker as a coin. Is the connection even worth that much to me? It would be slightly surprising to me if so. Would allow me to beat some people on network size. I think only the cultists. So an alternative is taking this right now. No, but the cultists can always get triple shipping and then build this space. And that's actually much simpler for them than getting this one to begin with. So I'm not blocking anything by going here. And it seems unlikely that this is a spot they would even compete on me with. So I think I definitely need this trading post built. Okay, let's proceed on this path and see if somehow I can absorb enough power to connect up my network size. I will go ahead and complete a town here. If this space gets cut from me, I think it's sketchy to think I'd be able to complete my network anyway, and so I may well just aim for this one. It works just as well for dwelling scoring with my Earth 1 favor. Okay, so the Darklings have come all the way over there. Woohoo for them. That does give me one more power. It still wasn't going to be enough to improve shipping. So the Darklings are out of priests. They can't terraform anymore. They can't produce a priest from power conversions. So since they can't terraform at all, the dwarves do have the option to take this space. It would be nice to be able to... I suppose I just need to grab this one in order to found the complete town. So let's go ahead and do that. No one has reached the space to take it away from me either. So I'll flip this and then I'll use my stronghold power here. Upgrading shipping for 3 points is an option if I have nothing better to do at game's end. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but it might be the case. Do I want this power? For a point, I doubt it's worth it. It does enable a temple upgrade. A temple upgrade is actually a decrease in 2 points because of my bonus card, though. This one here that scores per trading post. And I don't... can I even compensate that by taking a new favor? I can take this air favor, which will score 3. So that's 1 point at some fantastic loss of resources, which trades with this 1 point, but then I could spend the resources for final game scoring if I don't. So I'm going to decline this conversion. I think I'm pretty confident we've defeated the Darklings here. They're defeating us on network size and also cults, but we're going to have quite a large lead going into the endgame scoring. Right, because I can take at least another 16 points here still. So let's go ahead and make use of this to... Oh, sorry, more than that. I can take a very hefty size. So town tiles. I'm nowhere close to being able to accept this power. I do not think boosting me on the cult tracks is... yeah, it's definitely not worth enough points because Brown still has priests to break these ties. The dwarves have the priests to break the ties. And I can already pass beyond the Darklings on one anyway, just by making use of my one priest I have. Now, I could make it passing beyond them on both by grabbing this, and that is worth 2 points. So I'm inclined... yes, I think we're interested in taking this priest. And 9. So let's go ahead and grab that. This has really not been a great game for us, but, you know, I think we're well situated to take 3rd place at least. We won't lose. Do we have anything else meaningful we can do with these resources? I think they're all just piled up for endgame scoring. And it is 2 points after I spend the priests on cult tracks. So that's not nothing. We will get to pass on 3 trading posts. That'll give us 6 points for passing. I suppose that means if I upgrade this to a trading post, that is worth 2 more points. But I do not have access to the power to make that happen, and that's the same as what those resources are worth in endgame scoring regardless. I guess really what remains left to figure out in this game is just what I would have done differently to not be losing so bad. And I think the answer to that is I probably should have... I didn't actually have access to this tile early enough to stop the dwarves from taking it. That wasn't possible. So I suppose I could have started on these 2 tiles and then gone around in this direction using the single spade action. Oh no, unfortunately I can't jump from here up into here in one terraform, so that doesn't work either. Perhaps just my judgment from game start was off in how well this was situated for the witches. I think I should have evaluated that the dwarves made them significantly worse even for the dwelling rush opening I wanted to try. It was really quite a beating what the dwarves did to us in the beginning, stealing both of these. The Darklings have many more priests now thanks to their stronghold build, so they're even going to pass us on these tracks. Or maybe not. They could just spend them to terraform. That is worth 6 points to them. They get a better exchange passing me on the tracks still. So I should definitely spend a priest here for now and try to defeat them on one track. I could pick the fight on this track instead, But if I pick it on this one, I'll get more power out of spending 2 priests if I have to do that. So this is the route to go. It feels very pedantic of me to be playing so hard for a couple points when I know I'm a sure lock for 3rd place anyway. But you do what you gotta do. I have pride in collecting those extra 1 or 2 points. Let's see how the Darklings player spends his priests. Looks like he is terraforming. If he converts his resources down in type, he can just build a camp. Of course he can. It's actually somewhat kind of the dwarves to steal this space for us, because it means we can go in the last one, and then we'll actually be leading up here. I'm sure the dwarves could still spend 1 more priest to tie us here, but they may not. They may fight with Darklings on this cult track. We can just lock the Darklings out of contesting the fire cult, and then we can lead the dwarves unless they do anything about it. So up we go. No conversions, because I would like to be power capped into gaining a free power without spending points. And then all that's left in this game is for us to hit pass when the turn comes back and see the final scoring. Well, Lexabyte, that's very optimistic of you. In this case, we are minimizing margin of defeat. But that's not really so different from what you said. Let's pass. We'll get 6 points for it because of our 3 trading posts. And then we'll lose badly in the final scoring. Okay. Here it comes. It's a little depressing to watch these cult tracks get scored when you know you're not winning any points off of any of them. Okay, I still have a total of 23 points on Darklings, so they won't defeat me through network scoring. Alright, 3rd place. Not my best showing at all. But we still beat those nefarious Darklings good. Go away, Board Game Arena. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm gonna go take a break now, and then I should be back with more of this a bit later today. See you.